What does my favorite dessert, pecan pie, have to do with retirement planning? Well, in this video, we'll find out. Today we're going to talk about knowing your risk in retirement, and I'm going to use a little story that I like to do often so that you won't be caught off guard when the next market crash comes in and hits. And believe me folks, it's coming. We don't want it to crash or cut your nest egg in half like it did in the last one. So what can a pecan pie teach us about managing our investment risk? Well, let's find out. You see a picture of a beautiful pecan pie, and below that you have the recipe, how to make that pecan pie. And you notice each of those ingredients are measured out, and if you follow those ingredients, you'll end up pretty close, I would think, to what you see on the screen. To me, it's one of my favorite desserts of all time, and I love it. But I can ask each and every one of you, whether you like pecan pie or not, you'll see it calls for 1 cup of flour. If I put 2 in there, I wouldn't end up with the right thing. It calls for, calls for half a cup of light corn syrup. Well, let's suppose we put 3 cups in, or just kept pouring until, oh, that looks good. We wouldn't end up with the right thing. If we didn't put pecans in it, it wouldn't be pecan pie. Well, what does that have to do with investment planning? Like all great recipes, investment portfolios blend ingredients, just like we do in recipes, together to satisfy the individual's appetite for risk. So what do we have here? I want to ask you a question. Is your current plan for retirement something that I call a sum here plan, or a coordinated plan? What is a coordinated plan? Well, it's first easier to talk about what a sum here plan is, because often we have people who come in who will tell me, well, I've got this here, and I bought this, and I invested in that over there. And my question to them is, I understand you've got all these things, but how are they coordinated together? And they can't answer that question. Which ones are you going to draw from? Which ones are you going to pull from? Not only are they different types of accounts, they may be different flavors. If you look at another video, you'll see what I mean by that. Different flavors of money altogether. How are these things coordinated? Well, in a coordinated plan, we want to have tactical risk management, not too much of any one ingredient, just like our recipe. Out of whack, we won't end up with the right thing. We want to have tax risk management. The greatest destroyer of wealth in retirement is mismanagement of taxation. A coordinated plan will deliver downside protection, where we have guarantees and protection against these financial storms that are inevitable and will come around from time to time, probably 3 or 4 times during our retired life. And we want to have income maximization, what I like to refer to as getting the most juice out of the orange, and to do so safely. That is what a coordinated plan provides. Some here plans don't touch these things. How can we find out if we in fact do have a coordinated plan or one of these some here plans? Well, my suggestion is you do something that I do for every client, and that's called provide yourself an analysis, which we will do for you at no obligation. Is called results in advance planning. And this analysis will do a couple of things. It's going to answer some questions, and I'm going to pose those questions to you right now. If you can't answer them, it's time you have a results in advance planning analysis. First question. What is your current risk and return of your present portfolio? How much risk are you taking annually, and what is your average annual return? Do you know the answer? How long will your money last? The greatest fear of Americans today is outliving their money. Do you know if you're going to have enough around while you're still alive? Results in advanced planning will answer that. Does your current portfolio match your appetite for risk? Or is it someone else's design? Do you know if you can't answer how much risk or return you have? Well, obviously it's kind of hard to answer whether this portfolio matches your appetite for risk. And finally, can you increase the retirement income coming from your portfolio safely without running out of money? Results in advanced planning is the tool that will answer each of those questions, and it's like a stress test that is going on inside of your portfolio to find out if it's optimized for you. So, how can you do this? Click the link below. Schedule a time to have this discussion with me over the phone on how you can have a no obligation results in advanced planning analysis done for you so that your recipe turns out the way you want it.